Pedestrian Day. This campaign is being done by Center for Environment Education in partnership with Sumnet India and YRE, the Young Reporters for the Environment. We are very happy to have everyone here, and as we wait for others to join, we did have a good number of registrations, but this is going to be an hour and a little over that, a little few minutes above an hour kind of this meeting. So we look forward to having all of you as part of this campaign orientation. Today it's in a webinar format, and the event is being recorded and will, as I said, it will last for a little over an hour. Only panelists will be speaking today, and if you have questions, we request you to post them in the Q&A section. And also identify yourself and where you come from, your college, your organization, or wherever, I mean, if you, or the city also, if you would like to share that, that would be nice. Next, please. Just a little background about the organization. Center for Environment Education is a national institution and was established in 1984 as a center of excellence of the Ministry of Environment and Forests. We are a national institute and work in all across the country and work in all major languages. We work through our regional offices and a number of other project and program offices across the country. There are different thematic areas that we work in, programmatic thrusts from climate change to rural development to urban to working with schools and universities. And also the major focus is working with a diverse set of target audiences, stakeholder groups, and in focusing on the role of education in achieving sustainable development. So that has been the major focus, education and communication. We go to taking a poll now. I request Arzu to please display the questions. Okay, so you would see some set of questions on your screen, and we request you to start answering them. Let's see how many of you get it right. They're related to the topic of the day, which is focused on walking and pedestrianization. So the first question is, do you agree walking is a fundamental element of human life? So yeah, go ahead. I hope everybody can see it. No answers yet. If there's a problem, you could also put it in the chat. I don't think there should be a problem. No one's answering. Why is that? Yeah, I've got 3 yeses in the first one. And so it says, do you agree? So everybody agrees that walking is important and is a fundamental element of human life. And the second one is, the question is, do you think it is essential that my city should have high quality, safe footpaths and crossings? So most of you say that yes, your city should have high quality and safe footpaths. And one person has said no. So if you can specify in the chat box why you say no, whether your city already has those. And yeah, so I know the poll is continuing. We're still getting answers. So I've got 6 out of 6 in the first one. In the second, as I said, there's 1 no. And the third one, there are high quality safe footpaths crossings in my city. So all of you say no. So most of our cities don't have safe footpaths and crossings. And the fourth question being the lack of safe facilities for pedestrians impacts the daily life and well-being. So it's a multiple choice question. And okay. Oh, yeah. So I think we can see those answers. Now, I think everybody can see those answers. So the first one, all of you, I did read them out. So second is, again, as I mentioned, just one no, but most of you feel that it is important. And the third one says we don't have safe footpaths. And the fourth is the lack of safe facilities for pedestrians impacts our daily life and our well-being. So how? So it's all of you feels it's safety of children and elderly people. Community health and well-being is the next one. Then you also look at air pollution and climate change, um, access to livelihood, access to education and independence. It's a very important one. So I think very, very good responses. Thank you so much. So can we go to the next one, please, now? Yeah, I'll hand over to my colleague, Amar, to take you from here.
Thank you, Madhavan, for giving me to start from this slide. So, yeah, most of you know that walking is a good thing, and it is, in fact, a beneficial things for our life. And there are things linked to transportation, mobility, economy. Like we save money on transportation, people become healthier and have fewer bills. They don't have to spend anything if they're walking. As an individual, although cities should spend some things, it saves a lot of space as public space in terms of parking, saves time, and also improves safety, because a pedestrian will never ever kind of hit anybody or have any unsafe behavior. And then it is also more productivity in terms of have less of travel and then move people from one place to other. So travel in the walking mode requires less of any infrastructure. Next,
please.
So why we are concerned about pedestrian? What are the concerns? So if you reflect back on your own experience of walking in the city or in your locality when you are going to your colleges, then you know that what kind of experience you have. So let's see what are these, and if you are able to connect with that, just recall what are your experiences about that. We every day we walk, and sometimes we feel this, we have these experiences. We don't know how to look at these, whether these are good or not good. So let's see. Next. So these are kind of common seen from our cities in India. And we know that we kind of encounter these aspects. So if there are footpaths, we have seen that vehicles are there on footpaths, and this is in the peak hour, it sometimes becomes a common thing. In order to avoid vehicles coming on footpaths, we sometimes have to take measures which actually make footpath not convenient for people. Like we increase the height, or we put things to block vehicles, which also block other people's movement. Footpaths, if they're present, they are also broken. Many a times we have bad surfaces, and you might have observed if there is any construction happening, most of the things are put under the footpath. All the sewer lines and all facilities which is there, those lines goes below the footpath. And idea is that when required, we can kind of dig footpath, and then we can use it for, it will be easy. But they don't consider, if you just flip the question and say, if we want to actually put these under the road, why can't we put that under the road? And why those who are designing the roads, constructing the roads, why they are not thinking that movement of people is more important than the movement of vehicle? Firstly, because the purpose of vehicle is for the people. Secondly, maybe vehicle is a mean which can help you maneuver. But if a person gets hit, it is much more kind of harmful for the person. Another thing we find that even most of the, can we go back? Most of the places we don't have footpath present. And that is kind of makes people push to be on footpath. And there are sometimes cases where footpaths are present, but there are obstructions. Sometimes these obstructions are like electricity board or some things. People also say that there are vendors, but vendors are not actually obstruction. If you look carefully, they occupy space on footpath in a way so that their customers can move around, because they are there for their own customer, who are actually the pedestrians. So mostly pedestrians in maximum cases are their customers. Next. Also, we have a rule in India. We have an act which protects street vendors in terms of livelihood, and that comes with the idea that streets in India or any country is not only for the movement of vehicle, it is for a lot of different activities, and employment opportunity or livelihood of urban poor is one of the important aspect of that. And that act says that most of the municipalities should actually provide a design which accommodates street vendors. So coming back to, again, when we talk about walking, we think that streets are for the, or footpaths are required for the movement of pedestrians. But crossing becomes even more crucial and important, because crossing is when there is maximum conflict with the vehicle movement. And that is the place where they are most in the situation of danger, because vehicles are moving at different speeds. They are not providing a space for them to cross. And therefore, importance of having a safe crossing facility becomes very important. And in India, we have seen that these are given, but these are not actually kind of respected by people. So in the first photo, you can see that there is a footpath where people, there is a crossing facility which is painted also. We have zebra crossing and people want to cross, but vehicles are not stopping for them to let them cross safely. And then in the second picture, you can see that pedestrian facility, that is zebra crossing, is painted, but it is painted in a way that is very conflicting. We don't know which is the actual place for people to cross. Next. So these may recall you about your kind of experience of walking. Now coming back to why we need to be worried about walking. Are there people who are actually walking? So just recall, even if you are using a vehicle, whether it is a four-wheeler or two-wheeler, cycle, or any other mode, you at point are a pedestrian when you get off the vehicle or when you are trying to access your own vehicle. And if you look at the data, about 60% of children, this is a national data which is coming from National Statistical Office, says that 60%, which is almost 2/3 of the school-going population of children, they walk to school. This is data for both rural and urban areas. And then we have Indian workers who travel on foot or by bicycle. So these are mostly people working in informal sector, people working in factories. These are people working in rural areas or even in urban areas, urban poor. They also use walking and bicycle as their mode for main commutes. in cities, women workers and pedestrians are very high in number. And mostly we found that women dominate in terms of walking when it comes to work trip. So majority of the work trip done by walking are done by women, and they are basically the pedestrians. So 58%, if you look at just the urban and rural bifurcation, so 58% in rural area are walking, of which 47% of that 58% are women. Again, if we look at urban areas, so almost 50%, that is half of the population are walking, and a very big majority, which is 68%, are women of this half population who are walking. Next. So now coming back to the facilities which is required for pedestrian, and this is in fact a humanitarian concern, and we will see why. So first is in terms of the road safety. So in 2019, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, they published a data of road accident, and it says that the number of total accident, if you look at 17% of that total fatality, which is up to 150,000, is of the pedestrian. And if you look at the actual number, it is up about 26,000 people every year. And this is for 1 year data. And same is mostly for other years as well. So this much is the number of people who get killed in road crash accidents or injuries in India alone. And if you look at 10 years, you can just think this may be mostly the similar figure you will get. Forced shift to motorization at its ill effect. This is what happens that in case of motorization, there are many factors which we don't consider while planning or designing, but they have impact on the people who are walking. And this is in terms of the lack of facility for pedestrians, cyclists, and public transport. This happens because people want to provide more space to motorize more, because they are obviously growing much in number. If you look at cities now, population of vehicle are actually becoming equal to number of people living there. So we can't control number of vehicle, and people think that we have to provide all the infrastructure available to facilitate these, which is kind of a wrong concept, and we need to change that. Because that in trying to facilitate that, we compromise with the facilities for pedestrian and cyclists and also public transport users. And public transport users are mostly, in majority of the time, they are the pedestrian, because to access a bus or railway, local train or metro, people tend to walk to these places. Then increased private motor vehicle also lead to other kind of problem, which we see in a systems view, which is air pollution, which is relating to health impact and contributing to air climate change. And what happens that people say that, okay, pollution is increasing, so they start to protect themselves by putting in the enclosure of a vehicle, which is actually kind of a very wrong way of dealing with this problem, because you are leaving the solution, which is walking and cycling, and adding to a problem, which is use of vehicle. Increased motorization, which includes more public expenditure on infrastructure for vehicles. And that is again kind of because most cities doesn't have fund, so they tend to ignore creating a good infrastructure, which is simple to create and much cheaper comparing to vehicular infrastructure required for vehicles, but they still tend to discount those. Next. Just to, because we are on the eve of World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims, which is celebrated on third Sunday of November months every year. And this is to remember those people who have lost their life in road crash accident worldwide. And this is a very huge number. This is one of the biggest epidemiology, you can say, in terms of killer of people or cause of killing people globally. For the children, it is one of the most highest cause which kills by injury the children or child's population in the world. So maybe we can also look at this opportunity to highlight the safety for pedestrian, which is by creating safe infrastructure and convenient infrastructure for them. Next. So many cities, if you look at, it's not that we don't know the science or of creating or art of creating safe facilities. There are many cities who are orienting the whole city, designing it in a way which is much more friendly for people and inviting them and giving them a very excellent experience of safe, secure walking, so that people choose by themselves to walk and not pushed to use a motorized mode of transport. We can see in this video. Next. Similar situations are also in our country. It's not that India is behind. So if you look at few examples, in Delhi, we have changed the Chandni Chowk market, and it is designed in a way, in Karol Bagh, it is designed in a way which is much more walking friendly. So pedestrians are allowed by designing the infrastructure and restricting the vehicles. And initially, it was thought that it may not get good response, but even the shopkeepers now saying that they are getting much better response in terms of people accessing to these areas more pleasantly for their own better experience, and also they kind of are customers and they are purchasing more from these areas compared to other areas. Next. And similar things are happening in other cities. So in Pune, we have city of Pune has adopted urban street design guidelines, which talks about creating safe infrastructure for walking and cycling. And therein a lot of streets are converted into much wider, safe, with good facilities, good environment around, so that people who are already walking, are enjoying this place, and more people are also coming and joining them for walking on these streets. And these are providing a very excellent and safe infrastructure for them. You can see in these pictures. Next. Similar things are happening in other places like Almora, which is a small city, hill city. There also people are talking to the residents. There are civil society organizations who are bringing the importance of being pedestrian city, which will attract more and more tourists to these places, and also identifying that these are the hill cities and these are made for walking rather than motorized. Next. CE Northeast, which is working with the child safety issue, they did one very fantastic project in Jorhat, which is a small town, and they did audit for road safety of around schools, all the schools, and identified the places which are riskier for students. And they implemented simple things like painting, zebra crossing, or signals to make it more pedestrianized and safe for students. And they got very good response, and they are getting response to implement similar projects or similar interventions at other junctions and crossings. Next. So the sustainable mobility, which are basically component of walking, cycling, and public transport, it requires to make give attention on safety of pedestrians and their comfort, because pedestrians are again going to be using the public transport, as I said earlier. And now much more needs to be done to make it even more better. And youth has very key role in kind of making this policy change at the ground level. Next. So we have a video. So we have a video by Sri Kartike Sarabhai, who is talking about the need of putting pedestrian in whole policy regime. So we'll just go through that.
Walking is such a great way of really interacting with the city. It's good for you, for your health, it's good for pollution, it's good for climate change, but it's also good the way you see people at that scale. And you have these iconic figures like Gandhi and others who spent so much time walking. I mean, he made a point by walking, because that walk, for instance, to Dandi, was where he could interact with people. It was not just some box going away. So we would like people to realize and experience the sort of thrill of walking, the value of walking, understand why it's so good. Now, of course, you need facilities for that. You need footpaths. We are at a place in the city where it's a new place just outside our campus where a new footpath has been built. But again, so many places, if I really wanted to do a long walk, I'll find that there are so many places where it is not possible to walk. I have to go down on the road and go up again. So many people, in fact, walk in India. Pedestrian is not a small number, but a large amount of the pedestrian is because they can't afford it or don't want to spend it. What we would like is that it's a means of choice. That I would rather, if I go say 2 blocks or 3 blocks, I would rather go walking rather than take a vehicle. Now to change that, we do need to draw people's attention to the pedestrian. The pedestrian is as much a part of the planning as this road is or everything else is. I'm standing actually on a path which is a bicycle path, which is again a great thing. But walking and pedestrian is something we want to draw attention. A National Pedestrian Day, we thought we'll be able to do that, and we all support that we go ahead and announce something like that, so we can draw attention to this very important part of the future of urban India. Thank you.
Amar, unmute.
Sorry, so here he's talking about why and how we need to focus on improving facilities for pedestrian, because a lot of trips can be done by pedestrian and therefore by walking. And even if there are infrastructure available, sometimes it is lacking the encouragement it should provide to the people who are actually walking. Like I said, that there are many interruptions in the footpath. And therefore, with this idea, this campaign is being launched and carried by many organizations, led by Samnet, CE, wherein we are trying to reach out to different sets of people, including children, youth, elderly, civil society organizations, women and their organizations, to demand for declaring a pedestrian day on 11th of January. And we want to have a kind of a campaign which started on 11th November to make people know about this requirement. And once this day is announced, it will help policymakers, civil society organizations, people, institutions like schools and colleges to give more focus on this issue of improving safety and facility for pedestrians. So Samnet is a organization, it is a network of organizations and people who are working on sustainable urban transportation, and many voluntary organizations, civil society organizations, and other networks are part of this. And these organizations are working on grassroots level, forming a kind of coalition across cities, around 30 cities in India. And there are about 30 direct members of this network who are working to make sustainable transport a kind of a working model or experience for people at the city level. And they say that urban transportation should actually be universally accessible, which means it should be accessible for all kind of people, whether they are children, they are persons with disability, if they are if they are women or girl, school or college going girl, and at all time. And it should be socially just, that it should be provided in a way, a mode which is for all kind of people, whether they are poor, urban poor or rich. It should provide for their mobility need. At the same time, it should be safe, because we have a very not a good record of road safety in India, with about 5 lakh accidents happening every year. And it should be secure that a woman or a girl walking on a street should feel safe, and therefore, like, there should be street light, there should be design, and the street vendors play a very important role in security as well. They are kind of a CCTV camera or eyes on the street, and you may, if you just close your eyes and see walking on a street alone or walking in a street full with people, you will feel much secure on where there are people around. It should economically viable, that it should be affordable by all type of people, students, youth, poor people, and environmentally sound, that it should not have a larger impact, whether it is an infrastructure in terms of emitting gases which are radiatively important gases like greenhouse gases causing climate change, or pollutions which are coming from vehicles, and also by constructing this infrastructure. Next. So with this vision, CEE is using the network which it is facilitating for promoting this idea. And from here, I will request Madhvi to take it further.
Thank you so much, Amar. And yes, so my Young Reporters for the Environment is this network of the Foundation for Environmental Education, which again is a network of many organizations working in several countries across the world. And YRE, as it is known popularly, it focuses on the age group of 11 to 25. And so it starts from the older age group in the schools to getting, let's call it, students involved in researching environmental issues, promoting, looking for solutions, through a well-grounded research and investigative reporting. The outputs are in the form of, they can use photographs, video journalism, or they can also report through article writing. So it's basically a journalism program where young people can actually get a platform to give a message and share concerns that they would have about the environment. And we felt that this campaign, the campaign focused on pedestrianization, would be very, very good for young people to get engaged with, and also communicate about through this platform that Young Reporters for Environment provides. So we have, as I said, we are across 44 countries. This particular campaign, and Center for Environment Education is the national host for India in this program. Next, please. We follow a 4-step methodology. Basically, it is like a journalist who's really interested, and you have your ears and eyes, to the ground. So you investigate an issue. So in this case, it's focusing on pedestrianization. And if you say that you need to do a research, find out about what the status is in terms of safe footpaths, or condition of footpaths, or crossings, whether there are zebra crossings or not. And so just investigate and identify what the issue is about a particular larger kind of context, and then you research solution, find best practices, talk to other people, talk to decision makers, find out what the solution could be for your research. You make a report on that, and that report could be in the form of photographs, could be in the form of articles and videos. and even photo stories which document your journey. And then you disseminate it through the mass media, through your blogs, through social media, through sharing with a number of people in a number of creative ways that you only the young people can do. So I think that sums up what we really do in terms of Wiry, and it's a very exciting way to actually be able to share your thoughts and share your concerns and also say what you want to say. Next, please. And so in this particular one, this is a national movement. And how can you be part of this? So the first, of course, you're at this first step where you're attending the orientation. We will be sharing the campaign toolkit, which will have the activities that you need to do or you can do in a little more detail, step by step. And you start the campaign in the college or your community and plan and engage at least 5 or 7 people, your friends, your colleagues, and then conduct the campaign using the toolkit. There is also a petition, which is an important part of this campaign, which is, you'll see that towards the end of our session today. You need to sign that and also encourage your friends to, friends, family, to sign it. So that petition is open to everybody, anybody who to sign. So it is not necessary that only young people need to sign it, but your family and your peers and anybody who you can encourage to sign the petition and who you can reach. And organize a National Pedestrians Day event. So 11th January is the day we are proposing to have a National Pedestrians Day across the country. And so organize an event that you could do demonstrations, you could do some creative, say a street play or showcase any of your creative arts project on the streets, or even, you know, if you can even look at cleaning up a street and then putting up signage or talking to people on the street that day and talking about the importance of pedestrians. So there is a number of things that you could do, which you'll also find some ideas in the campaign toolkit when we share it with you. And at the end, we would request you to submit your campaign report, basically in the form of, say, a photo story or a very quick article, and collect the certificate. It could even be a video if you want to just talk about it in a video of what you did. Next, please. And I'll hand over to Arzu to take us through the activities now.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So till now, you have seen what the campaign is about and at the end, what we are aiming for. So for this, we have designed a set of activities. I'll quickly take you through what the activities are. So the first activity is that conduct a vocabulary study and interview. So the title itself says that you have to conduct some study and survey for vocabulary, and you have to interview. So this could be online or offline, and the purpose for this activity is mainly to conduct a survey and interview. Either you can document it through the survey form, or you can interview maybe in the video form for the pedestrian and hawkers. Mainly, they're the one who are using the roads on daily basis. So what you have to do for this particular activity, we have suggested a video by Sumnet India. So just go through that video, understand and share with your friend. So you'll get a brief idea what National Pedestrian Day campaign is about. And then identify the type of issues regarding walkability in your nearby area. For instance, we have seen number of accident videos and other things. So these could be considered as a type of issues. Like one is management and one is safety purpose. So these are two examples of issues. So you can go with any such issues and identify, research more about these type of issues. Like what is the data and statistics says about these particular issues. And then while doing this, you also have to go through the solution. What solutions can be bring in to solve this problem, and for that you need to look for more research paper and fact that are available online or maybe offline through some magazine or newspaper. Then there's a survey form that you need to fill in and interview to document these whatever the work you are doing in the activity one. So this is the survey form. The form is very simple. It has your basic details like what's your name, date, and area of the city, what you are surveying, and it has question regarding surface of the footpath and also the crossings. So many area are not having pedestrian signs, or maybe signals are not there. So such basic questions are there. We will be sharing the link for this survey form with the toolkit. So it's not a problem that you won't get this survey form. We'll share that once the toolkit is uploaded on the website.
Arzu, may I come in here? I think, yeah. So the activity one, the survey, you have to conduct it offline. Okay. So you have to do that, because otherwise you can't be interviewing people offline, online. So I think that is one thing. I think we are correcting ourselves. So the survey is definitely an online process or offline process, where you actually go and identify a street. So details will be given. How do you identify a street, and what is it that you would do? We'll give you the details in the toolkit, definitely. But I just wanted to make it clear that it is an offline activity.
So moving ahead, we have activity 2, where you will be preparing a photo story, article, or photo post, or maybe photo reportage. This can be done online or offline. Offline, you can make posters, and in this, you have to articulate the problem and solution related to road safety with any of these suggested journalistic method. So you have already gone through the identification of the problem and solution in activity 1. So here you'll be doing a video like interviewing people. Earlier you did a survey, and this would be more regarding interviewing personally. So the outcome should either be a problem, like you have to work on a problem, or maybe a solution for this. Or either if you are willing to do work on both, so you can take it like one problem and a solution for the same. If like there are criteria for both video and photo reportage. If video, then it should give subtitles in English. So you can do the video procedure in your own native language, but it should have the subtitles in English language. And for photo and photo reportage, it should have a catchy caption. And the output, that is a video, if you are going with the video, so it should be compatible with the social media like YouTube or Instagram, so that it would be easy for you to share across. The next we have is activity 3, where you will be taking actions on ground. So youth will showcase their intentions to bring change. So you have already identified the problem and solution, and now it's time to take some actions. So this can be done online and offline, so or maybe both ways. So you have to create a team of 5 to 7 people, and you have to decide one particular area that you will be working for this particular stretch, and then clean up the footpath, like what vision you have for a clean city, or maybe clean footpath that the pedestrian should have. So you have to do a cleanup for that footpath and make it more walkable. Make one or more complaints about footpath or crossing status. For instance, if there is no crossing in the road, so you can make a complaint or poster kind of thing, and then you can send it to the municipality or road departments, public work departments. And also while doing this, you share these things on social media, so, and you can tag municipal officers on this. So it would be more reach out. This way you can create more reach out, and number of people can be connected through this activity. And this has to be documented either in the form of a photo or video. So activity 5 is that whatever post type of post you make, it shows on the social media. This is completely online. So you have taken the action, and now you'll be doing a complete online kind of thing, that you'll promote the action that you have done. So to bring awareness in the nearby citizens, or maybe in your friend circle, that you are involved in such a good activity, and you will be tagging your friends and officers for making a good reach out. So list down the reasons leading towards difficulty of pedestrians to walk, and categorize them into different types. So that you have already done. So then make a poster and creative, and then just with a catchy caption, you need to post it on the social media. So the mandatory hashtags we have is Walk India and Wire India. Then we have a few recommendations as well. Pedestrian, then road safety. You can use such hashtags to make it more visible on social media. Then make a post or whatever you manage to do. So till now you have already completed 4 activities. So you have a compilation of 4 activities, and this you make a collage for these 4 activities, and then you post it on social media. So assemble all the actions that you have done throughout the campaign, and make a video, short film kind of thing, or maybe you can go ahead with the animation video that the work you have been doing. Then make a post on your social media account, and in fact you can tag See India so that we'll be cross posting the good entries so that your work will be reached out to more number of people. And while doing this, so this is like you have already done 4 activities. So in this activity you will be tagging your 5 to 7 friends, and you'll be asking them to do this activity and cross share this. So this way you will be creating cascading effect. So, and ask them to join this cause. Then the last one is to sign in the petition. So you'll articulate and demand right to a safe working environment. For this, sign the petition to demand. We'll be taking you through like what the petition is about and how you can sign in for the pedestrian day. And through this, already informal groups will be there working aside. So you can tag them if you came across any of the informal group that works on road safety, and you can ask them to sign in the petition. And on 11th of January, every group or maybe the college will be observing this campaign on 11th of Jan, or in the community, to create a buzz about the need for safe and workable pedestrian facility. So these are the 6 activities that you will be doing. And also we will be circulating the activity toolkit. So that would be easy for you to see how you can go ahead. So this is the survey form that I was talking about. So you need to endorse this survey form, and here you'll get the petition link. So this link is there on SIAN webpage. I'll quickly take you through this webpage. So you just need to type SIAN.org, and this screen will appear. So the first creative is for this campaign. When you click on read more, there will be more details about the campaign and how you can proceed. I hope this is visible.
Kind of.
So here it is a National Pedestrian Day endorsement form. And here is the link for petition. When you click on the link, the petition link will open, and you can simply fill in the form for petition. So it has a basic question like your name, email ID, and contact number. So you can simply by doing these, by filling these basic details, you can fill in the petition form.
We would also like you to fill the earlier form that you would go
Survey
into,
endorsement.
the survey endorsement, so that there is a record that we have, because we are expected to provide that information as well. So we need to keep that information. So request you will have to fill twice your name, but it is not too many details. So I don't think that should be a problem.
Yeah, so here is the timeline. Campaign launch is, you are already here on 19th November. Then we will be sharing the toolkit for this campaign by 24th November, and you can begin with the activities on the same day. So you can do these 6 activities within the time frame of 24th November to 31st of December. And then on 11th of January, we'll be celebrating the National Pedestrian Day. These are our social media handle details. You can connect to us using any of these. And now we are open for questions.
There was one question about will it be posted on YouTube? Yes, it will be. And also the toolkit will be shared with you. So only with the presentations and everything. So we'll get it. Would we want to ask them to? Okay, so let's ask them to look at the endorsement form. Azu?
It is there on the SCIEN webpage. I'll share the link.
Sanskriti has shared it already.
You can share the screen of SCIEN again.
Share the screen of SCIEN and share the link. So you can go there and already do it because it won't take a long time. So we can keep, we'll wait for you. So we can give you around 10 minutes to do that. Yeah.
This is the link, sayen.org.
It says NPD in the 4th point. It says NPD endorsement. Okay. So go there, and do we have to fill this also?
Yes, yes.
So that you should do first, and then so your name.
And this is the link for petition.
Yeah, jhatka.org. So please give us your name, email ID, your college or youth group name, city, state, PIN code, and your phone number if you can. And all of this other things. So the petition is here. So you can sign it after you fill the whole thing. Please sign the petition. Any questions in the meanwhile while others are signing? Anybody has questions? No questions. You can also do this presentation to your your college or youth groups if you want to, because we'll be sharing it with you. So you can use this to get more people involved in this campaign. And if you need any support, to get in touch with us. Yeah, I think Sanskriti is suggesting that we promote everybody to panelist. Yep, we can.
So you can just unmute yourself and start speaking if you have any question.
Samrin Rao, you have a question? Are people able to speak now? Okay. There is one hand raised. Samrin Rao. Would you like to ask your question? If you have a question, your hand is raised, Samrin.
You can unmute and speak, Simran.
Okay, can people who have already signed the petition raise their hands now? Or say yes? कोई जवाब नहीं। Gaurav, yes, Gaurav.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi.
Actually, well, I guess signing the petition is the sixth part of the activity, right?
Yeah. We just wanted to
But
see whether you are
Mhm.
able to do that. I mean, it can be separately done also, but we would like you to do the activities, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ma'am, one more thing, the link that was shared in the chat,
Mhm.
I guess that was Sanskriti. So
Yeah.
like I clicked on that link, but
Mhm.
the thing that was open was South Asia Youth Environment
Yeah.
Network Individual Membership
Yes.
Form. Is it the same endorsement
It's the same
form?
thing. It's the same. No. What did it open?
South Asia Youth Environment Network Individual Membership Form.
Okay, so that.
I think
I
you
guess-
landed on the home page, and there is a
Yeah.
banner, youth campaign. So you just click on that banner, youth campaign, read more, and in that, when you click, you go on the page of the campaign.
Scroll
Okay.
down so that you can see
Scroll
the
down.
rest of the page. Yeah.
Fourth
On
point
the
is
screen. Who's
fourth
screen
point
sharing?
is
Yeah.
This is the home page. Here there's an option for read more, and that is clickable.
But I mean, did you share the correct link or did you share the link to the membership page?
No.
No,
Madhu,
there was a link to the home page of that Savan.
Home page, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here is the membership form. You need not to go till there. You can just click on read more.
On the top.
Okay. Yeah.
हाँ, वहाँ पे
Okay.
है
Yeah.
ना,
Sure.
यूथ कैंपेन टू डिमांड फॉर नेशनल पेडिस्ट्रियंस डे का बैनर है वहां पर, उसमें रीड मोर लिखा है. यू सी द ब्लू थिंग व्हिच हैज रीड मोर,
Yeah.
है ना? तो उस पे क्लिक करेंगे आप तो यू विल बी एबल टू गो, यू विल गो इनटू दैट पेज.
Yeah. Got it.
गॉट इट? सो उसमें वो
Yeah.
एंडोर्समेंट फॉर्म है.
fourth
आप
point.
नीचे जाओगे.
Okay.
हाँ, सो फोर्थ पॉइंट है, वहां पे वो एंडोर्समेंट फॉर्म ब्लू में है, वो लिंक है. ये फोर्थ पॉइंट, वी इनवाइट कॉलेजेस एंड यूथ ग्रुप्स में जो 5 पॉइंट है ना, उसमें जो चौथा पॉइंट है एनपीडी एंडोर्समेंट. नाउ शी क्लिक दैट, सो इट इज दिस, ये दिखेगा आपको, सपोर्ट द नेशनल पेडेस्ट्रियंस डे, एंड दिस इज वेयर यू साइन द पेटिशन. बट बिफोर यू डू दैट, नीचे आप जाओगे, जस्ट गो डाउन अर्जु. हाँ, सो जस्ट फिल इन दीज डिटेल्स फर्स्ट.
Okay.
हाँ,
Yes, ma'am. I got it.
गॉट इट. एंड देन उसके नीचे
Yeah.
वो पेटिशन भी है, तो आप साइन, वहां पे भी आप साइन कर दीजिए. तो मतलब जो आप,
Okay.
दे विल आस्क फॉर योर ईमेल आईडी एंड योर नेम, तो वो करके आप एंडोर्स कर दीजिए दोनों.
Yes,
ठीक है,
ma'am.
दैट इज डन. सो गॉट इट नाउ?
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, completely.
Okay, great.
Thank
Good
you.
you asked this question because I think it's good to explain it properly. Ji Payal.
Ma'am, can you please repeat? Actually, in between there was some network problem. It was stuck. I couldn't.
Okay, so from where should I repeat? पहले से ले जाऊं? ठीक है, I can do that पहले से. हाँ, कोई बात नहीं. Arzu, go into the Cyan page. हाँ, so this, when you click that link na, Payal,
Yes.
you will get into this page. This is the home page
I
of the
got into this-
Cyan website.
Ma'am, I got into this page and then it got stuck. I was not able to move.
आप फिर read more में जाइए. Read more का जो बटन है ना, उस पे जाइए.
Read more.
हाँ, उसी, वो जो ऊपर जो बैनर है,
Yes.
कैंपेन का बैनर है, उसमें रीड मोर का बटन है, देखा?
Ma'am, 1 minute.
आरज़ू,
Ma'am, just can you?
ये वाला, she's pointing to it.
Yes. Got
हाँ,
it.
हाँ, तो आप उस पे जाइए.
Done.
हाँ, I think we'll need to say register or something. We have to change that button. समझ में नहीं आ रहा लोगों को. NPD endorsement यहाँ पे
NPD.
में, हाँ,
Yeah.
वो हम क्लियर कर देंगे. ये चीजें आपके साथ हम लोग कर रहे हैं तो समझ में आ रहा है कहाँ इश्यूज हो रहे हैं. एनपीडी एंडोर्समेंट.
मैम, ये वाला जो आपने दिखाया NPD एंडोर्समेंट, वो कहाँ पर मिलेगा? Where do I find it?
इट इज इन दैट पेज. आप नीचे जाइए, वो जो आपने खोला ना पेज.
Demand.
Point 4.
Ma'am, let us do together. Ma'am, 1 minute.
हाँ, तो आप
Go
कहाँ
to
हो?
point 4.
आप यहाँ पर हो.
Yeah, I got NPD endorsement.
गॉट इट. हाँ,
Yes.
हाँ, तो आप
And you
वहाँ पे
click on
क्लिक
this.
करिए. हाँ, क्लिक
Yes,
कीजिए.
I got the form. Yes.
You got the form. आप नीचे जाइए.
yes.
एंड देन यू फिल ऑल द डिटेल्स, और नीचे जो क्लिकेबल लिंक है वो साइन द पेटिशन की लिंक है,
Okay,
वो आप साइन कर देंगे और फिर सबमिट कर देंगे.
okay, done,
गॉट
ma'am.
इट?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
हाँ, बट ये सबमिट करना मत भूलना गौरव. अगेन, so don't forget to submit both the forms, okay? Because वो petition का submission
Yeah,
petition में
ma'am,
जाओगे वहां होगा,
Hmm.
और इस form का submission is in this form, okay? So we have to submit 2 forms.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
My suggestion is कि आप petition ना, you can already sign the petition, and then the 5-6 activities that are suggested ना, बस survey करना और interview करना, that you can do with the youth group. College में करना है या friends के साथ करना है, so that you can do in the coming 2-3 weeks. आज एक petition तो आप sign कर सकते हो झटका वाला.
You understood ना? हाँ गौरव, you have a question? कुछ और question है?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to like
Lower
lower my hand.
कोई
Yeah.
बात नहीं, कोई बात
I'm
नहीं.
done.
Is there any question in terms of the activities या suggestion या ऐसा कुछ भी है which we could improve upon also, अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आया हो?
Well, to be honest, right now, I guess the activities are quite intellectual, and I'm gonna learn a lot.
Intellectual. हाँ,
Yeah.
ठीक है.
try कर लेना, अच्छा रहेगा.
हाँ, नहीं, that's good. I think what we're trying to do is keep it as simple as possible and should not take too much of your time, but also have you are able to kind of use these to create the impact that one wants to create. So इसीलिए the young reporters को हम लोग use कर रहे हैं उस platform को to actually amplify all the activities that young people will be doing. So that is the idea.
Yeah, finally we would like कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग वो petition sign कर दें, and ideally मतलब थोड़ा सा खुद ही observe करके ना pedestrian facilities की condition, मतलब आपके ही शहर में फुटपाथ की क्या condition है, लोगों को चलने की सहूलियत है कि नहीं, ये देखते चलते हुए if you can share the petition with your friends, family, popularize the petition, I think that will create a good impact. And actually then we can together ask for this improvement that we need.
Absolutely, because this campaign doesn't end on the 11th. It will continue. I think we'll have to keep at it to make any difference, right? So continuation में करेंगे काम इस पे. Okay, so any more questions? Otherwise we can call it a day and get back to you guys in the whole toolkit we will share with you by 24th as promised.
I feel if you can just share your email ID in the chat, Madhvi and Arju, in case anybody has any questions.
Absolutely.
And of course we will email also to everybody who has registered. कोई दिक्कत आई तो कहाँ पे contact करना है. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you, Rama, for sharing. Yeah. Okay.
So
Alright.
आज के materials हम सबको email भी कर देंगे who has registered for today. So
yeah, we will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you for attending. And good night.